He gave us light, but died forgotten. They called him the man who invented the 20th century, but he died broke, alone, and feeding pigeons in a New York hotel room. His ideas powered entire cities, yet he tore up contracts worth billions. He dreamed of giving the world free energy, and when investors realized they couldn't control him, they destroyed him. But what happened next would shock the world. The genius and savior of the future is yet to be imagined, because while today's helpers chase billions and domination, Nikola Tesla wanted something else entirely. He wanted to heal the world freely. Nikola Tesla was born in 1856 in a small village called Smiljan, part of the Austrian Empire, today's Croatia. The night of his birth, a violent lightning storm shook the sky. Neighbors whispered that the baby was cursed. His mother, however, declared the opposite. No, this child will be a child of light. And she was right. Tesla's family was not wealthy. His father was a Serbian Orthodox priest, stern and intellectual, while his mother, though uneducated formally, was gifted in invention. She crafted household tools, looms, and mechanical devices from nothing. Tesla later said his genius came not from books, but from her. He grew up with 3 sisters and an older brother, Dane, who was brilliant, admired, and beloved. But tragedy struck when Tesla was only 5. Dane died in a riding accident. Thrown from a horse, the grief shattered the family. Tesla's father never recovered. Tesla himself was haunted, feeling as if he had to fill the void left by his brother. The shadow of that loss followed him all his life. As a child, Tesla was different. He claimed to see flashes of light and visions so vivid they blurred reality. He could imagine objects in perfect detail, rotate them in his mind, test them without touching pen or paper. If most children played with toys, Tesla's playground was inside his head. His imagination was both a gift and a curse. He once admitted, "The gift of mental power comes from God, a divine being, and if we concentrate our minds on that truth, we become in tune with this great power." But his brilliance was paired with obsessions. He feared germs, refused to touch hair, pearls, or even handshakes. He counted steps, demanded everything in threes, and hated round objects. To some he seemed eccentric, to others, unearthly. He attended school in Karlovac, where his teachers quickly realized his staggering intellect. He could solve calculus problems in his head, leaving classmates and teachers stunned. Some accused him of cheating, but he wasn't cheating. His brain simply worked differently, yet life kept testing him. At 17, Tesla nearly died of cholera, bedridden for 9 months. His father promised him, if he survived, he would let him study engineering. Rather than forcing him into the priesthood, Tesla recovered, and the promise shaped his destiny. He enrolled at the Polytechnic School in Graz, Austria. There he discovered the dynamo of his imagination, electricity. He became obsessed, devouring lectures, spending nights in the library, sketching machines endlessly. Professors were amazed, but also wary of his intensity. At first he excelled, but gradually he fell into destructive habits, gambling, drinking, skipping classes. He lost his scholarship, disappointed his father, and eventually dropped out. Shame followed him, and for years he avoided returning home, pretending he was still studying. Tesla drifted, working odd jobs, battling depression, even suffering a nervous breakdown. But his mind never stopped. He saw visions of rotating magnetic fields, images of motors spinning without contact, ideas that could transform industry. While others worked with brute force machines, Tesla imagined elegance, power harnessed invisibly, flowing like nature itself. In 1882, while walking in a park in Budapest with a friend, Tesla suddenly stopped. The setting sun triggered something in him. He grabbed a stick and began drawing diagrams in the sand. A motor powered by alternating current, not direct current like Edison's crude machines. This vision would change the world. Tesla soon found work in Paris with the Continental Edison Company, fixing and improving electrical equipment. His genius didn't go unnoticed. In 1884, at 28 years old, he sailed to America with just 4 cents in his pocket, a few poems, and a letter of recommendation. He later said, "I came to America because I thought I would find the opportunity to put into practice what I had conceived." America was electric. Literally, streets buzzed with new inventions. At its center stood Thomas Edison, already a celebrity, the Wizard of Menlo Park. When Tesla arrived in New York, he carried a letter that read, "I know 2 great men. You are one of them. This young man is the other." Edison hired him immediately, but the partnership was doomed. Edison was practical, profit-driven, relying on trial and error. Tesla was theoretical, visionary, insisting on precision and beauty. Edison pushed direct current, DC, an inefficient system requiring power stations every few blocks. Tesla argued for alternating current, AC, capable of traveling miles with little loss. Edison mocked him, calling his ideas dangerous fantasies. When Tesla proposed redesigning Edison's machines, Edison laughed and promised $50,000 if he succeeded. Tesla did succeed, but when he asked for the reward, Edison dismissed him. "You don't understand our American humor." Tesla quit on the spot. Broke, he dug ditches to survive. For a man who had imagined the future of electricity, this was humiliation. Yet his fortune soon turned. In 1887, he secured backing from investors who saw promise in his AC motor. He filed patents, built prototypes, and demonstrated them with breathtaking success. At last, the world noticed. George Westinghouse, a wealthy inventor and businessman, bought Tesla's patents for $60,000 in cash and stock, plus royalties for every horsepower generated. It was a fortune, but more importantly, it was Tesla's chance to prove AC. And so began the War of Currents. Edison launched a smear campaign, publicly electrocuting animals with AC to prove its danger. He lobbied politicians, stoked fear, and even helped design the electric chair as a grotesque demonstration. Tesla, meanwhile, pressed forward, showing AC's power at the 1893 World's Fair in Chicago. The entire fairground was lit by Tesla's system, dazzling millions. AC triumphed. Edison's DC faded into history. Tesla's star rose. He became famous, respected, even admired. Reporters wrote of his strange genius, his piercing eyes, his visions of the future. He dined with Mark Twain, who adored him. He performed dazzling demonstrations, bulbs glowing in his hands, lightning cracking from coils, wireless lamps lighting without wires. He was a showman of science. But Tesla's ambitions soared far beyond electricity. He envisioned wireless communication, remote-controlled machines, even harnessing energy from the Earth itself. In 1898, he unveiled a radio-controlled boat, astonishing crowds who thought it was magic. He spoke of sending pictures, voices, even power through the air. At a time when most people were still lighting homes with kerosene, Tesla was describing smartphones, drones, and the internet. Yet for all his brilliance, Tesla remained naive in business. When Westinghouse's company fell into financial trouble, Tesla made a decision that would haunt him. He tore up his royalty contract, worth potentially hundreds of millions, to save Westinghouse from bankruptcy. He said, "You have relieved me of great anxiety." In truth, he had relieved himself of unimaginable wealth. That single act may be why Tesla died penniless. Still, he pressed on. With funding from J.P. Morgan, Tesla began building his boldest project yet, the Wardenclyffe Tower, a colossal transmitter meant to beam wireless signals and eventually power across the globe. Tesla imagined villages in Africa lit by the same tower that powered factories in America. No wires, no monopolies, just free energy. But when Morgan realized Tesla's true plan to give energy away freely, he cut him off. Morgan famously asked, "Where do we put the meter?" That was the end. Without funding, Tesla could not finish Wardenclyffe. Debts mounted. The tower sat abandoned, a monument to a dream crushed by greed. From then on, Tesla's life spiraled downward. He spoke of death rays, earthquake machines, and communication with other planets. Some ideas were real science, far ahead of their time. Others seemed delusional. The press mocked him as a mad scientist. Investors fled. In his later years, Tesla lived in hotels around New York, often evicted for unpaid bills. He became reclusive, feeding pigeons daily, claiming one white pigeon was his closest companion. "I loved that pigeon as a man loves a woman," he once said. "As long as I had her, there was a purpose to my life." By the 1930s, Tesla was a forgotten figure, while Edison and Marconi were celebrated worldwide. He gave occasional interviews, predicting bold futures: wireless power, machines guided by intelligence, renewable energy. Many dismissed him, yet decades later, those visions became reality. On January 7, 1943, Nikola Tesla died alone in room 3327 of the New Yorker hotel. He was 86. His body lay undiscovered for 2 days. He had no fortune, no family at his side, only pigeons waiting in the park. But death did not end Tesla's story. The FBI seized his papers immediately. Much of what they found remains classified. Did Tesla truly discover a way to beam energy wirelessly across the globe? Did he design weapons capable of ending wars? Or were they only the scattered dreams of an old genius fading into madness? We may never know. What we do know is this: almost everything Tesla imagined has come to pass. Wireless communication, remote control, renewable energy, global transmission of information, and still his ultimate dream, free, limitless energy, remains just beyond reach. Tesla was never interested in becoming a billionaire. Unlike today's tech giants, he wasn't chasing markets or monopolies. He was chasing light. He wanted to heal the world freely. That was his vision. That was his curse. So who was Nikola Tesla? A genius? A madman? A prophet? Perhaps all three. But ask yourself this: who was more dangerous? The dreamer who wanted to give power to humanity, or the powerful men who crushed him because they could not profit from his gift? They called him the man who invented the 20th century, but his true genius may yet belong to the 21st. And what happens next might still shock the world. Tesla never stopped. Even when society locked him, even when newspapers called him a fraud, even when the money dried up, his mind churned with ideas. He worked on bladeless turbines, earthquake machines, oscillators that could split buildings in half, and even spoke of extracting limitless energy from the very vacuum of space. Each invention seemed ahead of its time, too strange, too powerful, or too unprofitable for his age. By the 1930s, his eccentricities became legend. He lived in a hotel suite at the New Yorker, obsessing over cleanliness, refusing to shake hands, and demanding his meals be arranged with mathematical precision. He spoke of pigeons as if they were his confidants, especially one white dove he claimed loved him as a human would. To the world, Tesla looked like a broken man. To those who knew better, he was a prophet surrounded by blind men. Governments, however, were not blind. As war brewed in Europe, whispers spread of Tesla's death ray, a directed energy weapon he promised could shoot down aircraft from hundreds of miles away. He called it a peace weapon, a shield to make war impossible. Militaries wanted it, spies circled, but Tesla, mistrustful, never fully revealed the designs. Then, in January 1943, at age 86, Nikola Tesla was found dead in his hotel room. He had died alone, in poverty. The man who had given the world its light, now living in darkness. But what happened next is where the mystery deepens. Within hours, government agents swept through his room. Trunks of papers, sketches, notebooks, gone. Officially, they said nothing of value was found. Unofficially, many believe Tesla's greatest secrets vanished into vaults, locked away by those who feared, or perhaps desired, their power. The so-called Tesla papers remain shrouded in speculation. Were they lost? Were they suppressed? Or did they seed the technologies that would quietly shape the modern world? The irony is brutal. The man who wanted to give the world free energy died penniless, while those who built monopolies on his visions became billionaires. Edison, celebrated; Marconi, a Nobel laureate; Westinghouse, immortalized; and Tesla, a forgotten recluse, whispered about as if he were insane. But time has a way of correcting memory. Today, his name stands taller than ever. Tesla cars race silently down highways. The unit of magnetic field bears his name. Engineers revere him as a prophet. Futurists call him a visionary, centuries ahead of his age. His dream of wireless power is closer than ever, with wireless charging, renewable grids, and space-based solar projects echoing his visions. And yet, the greatest part of his dream, unlimited, unmetered energy for all mankind, remains unfulfilled, because it threatens the very foundation of wealth and power. Because a world with free energy is a world without billionaires controlling the switch. That was Nikola Tesla's curse. He wasn't interested in riches. He wasn't interested in power. He wanted to heal the world, to lift mankind into a new age. While today's inventors race to be billionaires, Tesla wanted no fortune, only a future. They called him eccentric. They called him mad. But perhaps the true madness is that we still live in a world where energy is chained, metered, and sold, when over a century ago one man showed us it could be free. Nikola Tesla, the man who invented the 20th century. A genius, a savior, a dreamer too far ahead for the world he lived in. And perhaps the man whose greatest gift to humanity is yet to be imagined, because what happens next might still shock the world. Three brands, one rivalry: Adidas, Puma, and Nike. Their feud split a family, divided a town, and even fueled tensions in World War II. Today, their war isn't fought with weapons, but with sneakers on streets, courts, and stadiums worldwide. Athletes become legends the moment they lace up. This is the true story of the sneaker wars.